Francis? Francis, is Francis your name?
Yeah.
Anthony? Anthony's your middle name, Anthony?
Yeah, you know my name.
Well, Francis Anthony, congratulations. Because you're about to turn 60. And this is your life. Ah!
Francis Anthony was born at 12 minutes after 1 in the afternoon at the end of October of 1957. He was born to his mother Phyllis. She was one of 10 children from a large Italian family. His father, Frank Sr., was from a small Sicilian family. He had a twin brother, Nicky, and an older sister, Dorothy. Sadly, little Nicky would pass away at the age of 6 months old, leaving the entire family devastated. Little Frank Jr. was a curly-haired, precocious little child. The only male grandchild of his father's family, he was the favorite. Frank had one sister, Janine, who was only a year and 4 days older than him. Walking down the street on any given day, people would stop and ask if they were twins. Frank's father would abandon the family when Frank and his sister were just 4 to 5 years old. And now his mother, raising the kids on her own, would struggle through some very difficult times. Frank started to shoot up in height and weight as he was now getting older. It was the husky store for him now. Catholic grammar school in high school was not his favorite time in life. He was quiet and shy, but did attend his senior prom. And in 1975, he graduated from high school at the age of 17. Having been accepted to a few colleges, he decided not to go and instead got a full-time job. He started out as a stock boy at a downtown department store in Rochester for $1.95 an hour. A year later, he decided to go to college at night and get his degree in retail business management. Work during the day with school at night was very tiring and difficult, but Frank was determined. College offered more fun as he got to travel to New York City with his class and go to the top of the World Trade Center. A picture later on that would have very lasting memories. At work, he was involved in the fashion department's yearly productions of Breakfast and Dinner with Santa or the Easter Bunny. He played Big Bird. Now in his mid-20s, he was thinking about marriage and family. He met and married a young girl that also worked at the downtown department store. And in 1981, there was a large Italian wedding, even though she was German and Swedish. In 1985, after a long wait, their first daughter was born. Then 2 years later, in 1987, their son was born. And finally, in 1989, another daughter was born. He thought they would be happy forever, but things were brewing inside, and Frank knew something wasn't quite right. Frank was also the godfather to his sister's first child, Kelly. This is where he got all his parenting skills from. In 1996, Frank and his wife divorced, and the family split up. He was now single again and living alone. That year, he finally came out as gay and developed an entirely new social life with friends that would eventually become his vacation family. They vacationed every year together in Cape Cod in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Each year, new friends would come in and out of the group, but fun would be had by all. He went on his first cruise in 2001 aboard the NCL Sky on an Atlantis gay cruise. 2,000 gay men partying away in the Caribbean, and more cruises would come his way after that, making him an experienced cruiser of the Caribbean. Then in 2006, he went on a 2-week Mediterranean cruise with 3 of his closest friends. Italy, Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and the Canary Islands were a trip of a lifetime. Later that year, on November 11, 2006, he met Kevin. After 6 months, they moved in together in a rented townhouse and made it their home. Life was good, and they decided that this just might be it. So they bought their first house together in 2008. It was a cute little red Cape Cod house, located in the city, a very quiet neighborhood. Life continued on, careers were on the move, and everything seemed right, except that they didn't have the right to marry each other. So they joined the rallies and protest, and they marched for equality as much as they could to demand their right to marry. In 2009, they added to their little family and adopted a cute baby Chihuahua, Cece. And in the following year, in 2009, they got Delilah, a Poodle Bichon Frise mix. She was such a little scamp. Then, in 2010, life was about to be turned upside down when Frank became seriously ill. The doctors told Kevin that Frank probably would not survive the night, based on their assessment, but didn't know what was actually wrong with him. When they finally diagnosed his illness, the damage had been done, and years of speech and physical therapy were now going to begin, and liver failure would soon follow, totally unexpected and out of the blue. Through it all, Kevin stayed by his side and acted as his advocate for all his medical and legal needs. Thankfully, they had made out their wills, healthcare proxies, and power of attorneys back in 2009 as to protect themselves because they could not marry. And in June of 2011, New York State passed marriage equality, and the rights of every citizen in the state to marry would now be granted. Kevin asked Frank to marry him, and later on that year, on Friday, November 11th of 2011, they married. 5 years to the day they met. That day they exchanged rings in front of about 36 family and friends. And even though Frank was not the same man as he was when Kevin met him, Kevin gladly placed the ring on his finger. Kevin had made all the arrangements: restaurant, menu, wedding cake, invitations, and room decor. And friends from out of town and family from out of state arrived for the happy event. The day would not be complete without the love and support of their mothers. Frank's best friend, Kevin C., acted as his best man, and Kevin's bestie, Joanne, was his best woman. They would soon attend the wedding of their good friends Bill and Brad a few years later. Frank's recovery was coming along, so they decided, with the help of their besties, Joanne and Christine, to take a cruise in 2013, the 4 of them on the Carnival Victory. Then, in 2014, Kevin and Frank went on the Carnival Conquest. The NCL Gem followed in 2015. And in 2015, they sold their little red house and moved to a larger, better equipped house for Frank, not too far away. Within 6 months, they had every room in the house renovated from top to bottom, and were ready for the holidays with family and friends. And in 2016, the Carnival Valor. A Valentine's Day cruise in February of 2017 aboard the NCL Gem yet again. Cruising was back in their blood, and their Cruising with Wheels YouTube channel was off and running. In the meantime, Frank was able to return to the department store 40 years later for a reunion of past employees. Friends visit off and on when Frank and Kevin host dinner. The usual Friday night cocktail parties of the past with the guys are now few and far between, but still enjoyable. Frank's sister Janine brings his mom over for a visit every other Saturday for a few hours. He splits holidays with his sister so Mom can see everyone. Even if it's an inside holiday picnic, Mom's always welcome. And so far, so good. Life seems to be settling down for the two of them.
Well, then there it is.
Weren't you supposed to have live people here or something? You know, like they hide behind some curtain and then jump out and surprise me?
What do you think this is? Some big budget thing? This is YouTube, for God's sake. Maybe next time for your 100th. See ya.
All right. Cece, Delilah, help me.
Outtakes!
Crazy.
I'm sorry I didn't build you a better ship, young Rose.
You cheapskate.
Yes, sell all my bonds, all my stocks, transfer them to Cootie Joe Enterprises. Thank you.
Cootie Joe Enterprises, that would be my account, thank you.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, diddly-dee, big ones, small ones, standing in the road.